Number 3, BB has said before, the best path to take is to chase a single niche instead of many in a local area. Yes, and I stand by that statement. I've been getting good results with my current realtor, but he isn't on page 1 for all the terms yet. Do I wait until he's on everything first? I was considering go ahead without waiting, but I thought I would ask you first. When is it appropriate to chase others in different cities? Now, Muhammad. Yesterday is when it was appropriate. And the reason I say that is because, guys, we talked about this extensively in the mastermind webinar last week, which is going to be part of this video email prospecting for 2018 course. So you guys that end up picking that up, either join the mastermind and get it now, or wait until a month from now and get it as a separate product. That's fine. But I covered this extensively there. And here's the problem that I absolutely did this, and I'm telling everybody not to do this. Okay. And that's what most of us do, right? We turn on the prospecting machine, or we start prospecting, whatever, until we land 1 or 2 clients, and then we stop prospecting so that we can fulfill the work. And then what happens when we fulfill the work? We got to start from scratch again. We got to start all over. We got to turn the prospecting machine on, and we get another 1 or 2 or 3 clients, and then we turn it back off and we go fulfill the work. And it's a never-ending cycle. And part of the problem with that is you end up trying to make the few prospects that you end up talking with, you try to turn them into clients no matter what, because there's desperation there, because you don't have a pipeline full of prospects. Prospecting is something that you should be doing when you decide that you want to start generating clients, guys. You should turn a prospecting machine on and keep it on never ending, never stop, so that you can have a pipeline full of prospects, so that you can cherry pick out of those prospects the best ones to work with. Right. And you don't have that desperation. Imagine if you had, Muhammad, 20 active prospects, active conversations going at any given time with potential prospects. Couldn't you be a bit more selective in who you worked with? Couldn't you only select the people to work with that you have good communication with, that understand that marketing is an investment, not an expense, that you get a good warm and fuzzy feeling about, instead of trying to make even that asshole that you spoke to yesterday that in the pit of your stomach's going to be a pain in the ass, but you're willing to work with him because you need the damn money and you don't have enough prospects in your pipeline, that you have to take whoever will work with you, right? And again, guys, I'm not saying this from like a soapbox. I'm saying this because this is through 100% experience. And I know most of my partners can agree with me, or will agree with me, that this is something I suffered from. And it's absolutely what most people do. And I'm trying to prevent many of you guys that are just getting started from doing that. When you learn how to set up a prospecting system, once you develop it out, most of that can be outsourced. And we highly, highly recommend, and again, I hammer this point home in the training for the video email prospecting, is outsource your prospecting. Develop a system, which I'll give that to you in Mastermind, or if you purchase the video email prospecting system, that's one way to do it. You can also do a shotgun approach. That's something else that we're covering in the Mastermind. But my point is, once you've developed your prospecting system, then outsource it, which is not hard to do. And the vast majority of it can be outsourced, and then it gets done every week. And then keep your pipeline full of prospects at all times, because then that way, like I said, Muhammad, don't wait. That was the biggest mistake I made. And it took me 2 years to generate as many clients as I probably could have done in 3 months if I had just kept that going and created basically a system and allowed it to run on autopilot. Guys, I would love to hear your input on that last question.
Yeah, if I can start. First off, Jibka, welcome. Thank you, buddy. And I hope to, I'm really looking forward to talk to you soon. So I totally agree with what you're saying, Bradley. And I learned this kind of from the 10X rule from Grant Cardone, and the guy would say, if your pipeline is not full, you will be discouraged by the first no. You will be discouraged by the first guy that tried to, sell you on his or her priorities. It's harder, right? When you have like the calendar in full, like fully booked with strategy goals, or with people that you want to talk, or you want to sell people into your products or to your products or services, there's no way. Like if somebody says no, hey, I cannot afford it, boom, next. Don't worry, thank you. It's completely fine. Move to the next step. And I completely 100% agree, because that's one of the mistakes that I made. You know, I got a couple of leads. I will full steam ahead with lead gen. I got a couple of leads. I went talk to them and then it stopped. So the best way to go is to automate it. And I 100% agree that is to automate it and to always have a constant flow of leads running through your pipeline. And then at the end of the day, you can outsource, like I would say 98% of the stuff. And then all you need to do is to jump on a call. And sometimes you can even outsource the delivery. Like if it's real quality and you have the processes, you can even outsource the delivery. So all you're doing is to actually thinking on one, how to get more clients and leads. And number two, how to deliver better service and how to sell more stuff. That should be your only concern. So build a system, outsource, get as many leads as possible, because the reality is that, I don't know, if you have a 30% closing rate, which is amazing, or a 40% close rate, which is amazing, that means that 60% of people will say no. And that's completely normal, right? That's 100% normal. So all you need to do is to always be replacing those leads. And some leads will not buy right now. They will buy like 6 months from now, but you cannot wait. You cannot afford to wait 6 months for the guy to come up and made up his mind. So I totally agree with you, Bradley.
Yep. Anybody else?
Yeah, is my mic on? Sorry, I'm coming back over here. I just want to say one thing, because it was a great one that I came across not too long ago. And I'm not going to, this is just one quick saying that helps me think of this stuff. And that's, when is the best time to plant a tree? And the answer is 10 years ago. But if you didn't do it then, do it today.
That's right.
And then take into account what Bradley said and be doing it all the time.
Yep. There's a cliche that says a year from today, or a year from now, you will have wish you started today. Right? A year from now, you will have wish you started today. And so my point is, if you start working on setting up a prospecting funnel, which can be the video email stuff, guys, again, that's a very targeted approach. But we also have the shotgun approach that I shared on a very high conceptual level last week for Hump Day Hangouts, but we've been going over that extensively in the mastermind, and that's part of the agency build that we're going to be doing throughout 2018. But that's a shotgun approach that is like a mass prospecting funnel, and it's working phenomenally well. We're working on the sales side of things right now, but the prospecting end is just crushing it. And so the point is, get started on it today. Take incremental steps, guys, even if it's just, even if all you can do is devote, 30 minutes a day towards building a prospecting system, do it. Because in a few weeks, it will look like you made a significant, quantum leap in prospecting, but really it's just from small action steps that you took every single day. And then you keep it going. And again, a year from now, you'll look back, and if you've got an automated pipeline, prospecting pipeline that's feeding you, 10, 15, 20 leads a week, every single week, think about how that would affect your agency and your business, your revenue, right? I mean, again, you could be so selective. And there's a great book that Wayne Clayton, one of our, top and longest mastermind members, recommended, called Hot Prospects. And, I think it's Hot Prospects, and it's by Bill Good. And he always talks about, when you have a pipeline full of prospects, then if somebody gives you any grief on the phone, if you catch any resistance whatsoever, you can very easily, and he says it all in one word, no spaces, thank you very much, click, like, in other words, thank you very much, and then he hangs up. Because when you have a whole bunch of people in your pipeline, you can do that. You can be very selective, and you don't have to try to save or force every sale possible, because you can just go right to the thank you very much, next. You know what I mean?
There's two things to this too. One is that you're not only, this isn't, I know some people think, that's rude, or I don't want to do that. You're doing yourself a favor, but you're also doing them a favor, because if it's not a good fit, don't force it. Maybe you need to be clear, you need to communicate better and get your point across and what the benefits are. But other than that, move on, because you're going to waste their time as well, right? So you don't want to do that. So you're really doing them a service by doing yourself a service. So. And also, real quick, Bradley, I will say, speaking on planting the seed early, I gave my first Toastmaster speech last night. Bradley was in it. I'll tell you about that later.
Nice.
And it's funny, speaking about planting seeds, it took me 15 months from when I told someone I was going to go to Toastmasters, because they told me about it and the benefits, to me walking through the door. But since then, I've been going, and I've made it about 3 out of 4 weeks of the month. So I've been going for about 6 weeks, and it's just an hour a week. and already I can see improvements, and it's just putting that little bit in the bank, right, and building those skills. So
yeah. Toastmasters is I've been in there for 3 or 4 months now, and I've given 2 speeches. I was supposed to give one last night for my Toastmasters meeting last night, but I didn't get it written, so I pushed it back to the next meeting. But yeah, it's great, man. It's and so you did your break the ice speech, huh?
did my icebreaker. I did.
Icebreaker, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. So I'll tell you about it later. You were in it. So
I'm anxious to hear about it, man. It's a great organization.